Since the beginning of the pandemic, digital nomad visas have basically been popping up everywhere, offering more or less interesting opportunities in an effort to specifically interest digital nomads and target digital nomads to come to a country. One of the new kids on the block is Latvia, who has started accepting applications for its new digital nomad program in the last couple of weeks. In this video, I will introduce Latvia as a country, its capital Riga, and the digital nomad visa, and tell you about its benefits, its prerequisites, and its limitations. Unfortunately, there are quite a few major ones. And if you stay until the end, I will tell you how a digital nomad visa to Latvia could possibly lead to residency in Latvia and therefore to citizenship, which would enable you to travel the Schengen area visa-free and indefinitely. Hi, my name is Sara. I'm passionate about traveling the world and exploring this beautiful planet, and my goal is to help you do the same. So if that is something that you're interested in, and if that is something that you're into, please subscribe below, hit the little notification bell, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Latvia, or as it is officially called, the Republic of Latvia, is one of 3 Baltic countries together with its neighbors Lithuania and Estonia. It also borders on Russia and shares a maritime border with Sweden, where I currently am. One of the most beautiful and interesting parts of the Latvian history is the Singing Revolution, which it took part in together with the other 2 Baltic states, Lithuania and Estonia. The Singing Revolution started in 1987 and was a form of absolutely non-violent protest of these 3 Baltic countries towards the occupation of the Soviet Union. On the 21st of August in 1991, Latvia actually gained independence from Russia. When it comes to nature, Latvia, like most of Eastern Europe, has lush forests, is very green, at least during the summer, has beautiful sandy beaches since it is bordering the Baltic Sea, and has, pretty cold winters. Okay, before we move on to the capital of Riga, I would really appreciate it if you would hit the like button for this video down below, and it is a great and free way for you to support me in my efforts. Thank you. So, Riga is the capital of Latvia, and a third of the Latvian population lives here, which might sound a lot, but actually amounts to about 671,000 people. Riga is, however, famous for its collection of Art Nouveau buildings. It's said to have the biggest collection of Art Nouveau architecture in the world. There's also a few great options for day trips. You can just rent a car and basically drive through the entire country within, a couple of hours, depending on where you go, to see a lot of other exciting places. One of those places is the city of Liepāja, which is about 3 hours drive from Riga. It is also called, which I personally find very poetic and beautiful, the city where the wind was born. Liepāja is said to have the most beautiful sandy beach in the entire country. Furthermore, you could do a day trip to Jurkaine, which is a city with an absolutely amazing steep coastline. Or if you fancy spending more time engulfed in nature, Kemeri National Park is another beautiful option for a day trip. So let's talk about the cost of living. To come up with a reliable number for cost of living, I have compared a few resources, which I will all link down below. By the way, I always link everything I talk about down below. Anyways, so I've compared a few different kind of websites which have come up with different numbers here. However, the main numbers, meaning the numbers for accommodation, for groceries, for example, for transportation, were the same in each of these websites. So that basically means that the difference in cost of living is a difference in calculating how much people will spend on other things, like for example going to cafes or stuff like that. So rest assured that at least the basics are the same, and from there you can yourself, depending on what kind of lifestyle you want to live and how much you are used to spending or how much you can afford to spend, calculate and figure out yourself how much extra you would have to calculate on top of that. One thing that they all had in common, however, is that they classified the cost of living in Riga as affordable. On the website numbeo.com, it was, for example, calculated for about 2,140 euros per month, and the breakdown of that was as follows. A meal in an inexpensive restaurant would cost you around 10 euros, and a cappuccino around 2.80 euros. A monthly transport pass in Riga would cost you about 50 euros. However, keep in mind here that since Riga is relatively small, and depending on where you get to your accommodation, you might not even need a monthly pass for the entire stay. The cost for internet, very important for digital nomads, is at average around 15.42 euros per month. for a one-room apartment in the city center about 450 euros, whereas an apartment outside of the city center, also one bedroom, would go for around 335 euros. Anyways, one tip from my side how to reduce your cost of accommodation and travel and stuff like that as a digital nomad is to stay longer in one place. If you stay a lot longer, which is of course the benefit of a digital nomad visa, usually you are able to get a lot better prices on your accommodation, on your rental properties, and so forth. If you want to learn how to stay somewhere completely for free, check out my video on house sitting. Other plus points of Riga are that, at least amongst the younger generation, English is very widely spoken, so you should have no problem of getting around and communicating with people. Riga is a relatively modern city in terms of digital technology, so you have a lot of co-working spaces, you have free Wi-Fi in the entire city, so you have basically in those terms everything set up that you would need as a digital nomad. Okay, let's get into the visa specifics. The visa allows foreign nationals, employed or self-employed, from outside of Latvia to stay in Latvia for 1 year. It is also renewable for another year without local sponsorship. So you have two options. Either you work for a company that allows you to work remotely and will allow you to work in Latvia, or you are self-employed. The things that you will need to apply for the digital nomad visa are a valid passport that needs to be valid throughout your entire stay and after, a completely filled out and signed version of the visa questionnaire. I'll link it down below so you don't have to look for it online, a passport style photograph that has been taken within the last 6 months, and a copy of a document that certifies that you have health insurance. This is pretty common for all digital nomad visas. Countries usually want to see that you are health insured and that that you are covered in case, of emergency. Now, this document must also show that your coverage for that 1 year, your health insurance coverage, is at least 42,600 euro. You will furthermore need a document that shows your residency, so you will need some place to stay in Latvia. This could for example be an Airbnb address, and you can change this later on, but they need to know where to find you from the get-go. And you need to prove that you are employed and have been employed for at least 6 months, or have been self-employed for at least 6 months. Now, let's come to the unfortunately quite hefty limitations. The first one is you will need to be employed by a country of the OECD. So if you're self-employed, your company or business needs to be registered in an OECD country, or if you work for a different company than yourself, that is the case as well. You will also need to show that you have a salary of at least 3,192 euros per month. So the thing with being a citizen of a part of the OECD is of course quite the bummer. I'm not sure, it's about 36 or 38 countries at the moment that this applies to. If you are wondering what OECD stands for, it's the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. And most European countries are part of it. The US is Canada, I believe Mexico, and a few others. But of course, this means, if you think about how many countries there are in the world, 190 something. This is a rather selective visa providing entry to a privileged few. So check down the link below if this applies to you. I think this is, I really struggle with that one, I have to say. I have, however, this is just speculation, so I don't know if this is the case or not, but I wonder if it is possible to register your business or yourself in Estonia. Estonia, if you don't know, has an e-residency that allows you to register your business and give it therefore to have a European business while yourself not being in Europe. Again, this is speculation, I don't know about this, but if you really want to go to Latvia and you can't because of this stupid limitation of not, having the right nationality, maybe this is a way for you to do it. You could dig into that. So let's move on to the cost of it. The fee is quite affordable. It's 60 euros or 120 euros for the expedited visa. Expedited visa basically means that you are already in the country and your current allowance is running up, so either your visa is coming to an end or you are on a tourist visa or whatever and want to stay, and then you get the speed visa version, and that is 120 euros. The process of how to get it is also quite straightforward. Visa exempt nationals, so people that can enter Latvia without a visa, can just apply digitally, whereas citizens or individuals that need a visa to enter Latvia in the first place need to print out all the visa papers and go to a consulate of the Latvian Republic to apply for the visa there. And of course, if you are from the Schengen area, you don't need a visa, you don't need to go through all of this anyways, because Latvia is part of the Schengen area and you can basically live and work and and settle wherever in the Schengen area without any further hassle, but you probably know that then in that case already. Another thing that is quite nice, I feel, is and caters to the digital nomad lifestyle, is that the processing time is quite short, with 15 days. Another restriction, unfortunately, is that you can't bring or sponsor dependents on this visa, meaning you can't bring your family. If you have children or a partner that wouldn't get a digital nomad visa themselves in Latvia, you can unfortunately not bring them with you. If you are in that position, either as a family or with a partner, and you would like to live somewhere on a digital nomad visa, another option for you that allows this and even offers schooling to kids for digital nomads is Croatia. So that is an option that you might want to look into. I have made a video about this up here. Link is also down below. The last restriction that we're going to talk about is working. So you can't work in Latvia. I mean, the whole point of all these digital nomad visas is that you as a foreigner come and bring money into the economy without taking jobs away from the locals. So you can't work for a Latvian company or have Latvian customers. So leave a comment down below what you think about the visa. Is it worth it? Would you rather go somewhere else? What are your opinions about this visa? This visa could technically lead to Latvian residency. It is, like I said in the beginning, renewable once, so then you can already stay 2 years, and after these 2 years it is specifically stated that you can get residency, which again, after then I think it is 3 years, so then you've been there for 5 years in total, you could apply for Latvian citizenship. Also, as far as I can see, I've been trying to find real information about this. As far as I can see, but please double check that, is you won't have to be paying taxes in Latvia while you're on this visa. And check out this video next, which is the video about the digital nomad visa in Croatia. I hope to see you here soon. Go see that lovely world of ours for yourself, and bye bye.